Hey guys, what's up and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be another drugstore video. I feel like I've been doing like a drugstore series because every single video I've come out with recently has been about drugstore products, but I've just been loving them and I know that you guys have been loving them too, so thank you so much for giving me the support on all of those past videos. But today I'm actually going to be sharing with you guys two new eyeshadow palettes from the drugstore. It is the Milani Bold Obsessions and the Milani Most Loved Mattes palette. They both look like this. I feel like I'm blinding you whenever I do this. I can... Okay, but anyways, they're two so beautiful palettes. I could not choose between one of them. I was like swatching them in the drugstore and I was like, okay, I guess I'm just going to get both of them. At Walmart, I found them for 15 bucks, but online on Milani, they're $20. So that is pretty hefty price for a drugstore palette for each one. That's not for both, it's for each one. So that is a very, very hefty palette for it being from the drugstore. So that's why I wanted to just do a full thorough review, swatches, and then a tutorial on the look that I am wearing right here. This is using both of these palettes right here. I wanted to combine the two so you guys could see. And I have been trying them for the whole entire week, so that way I could give you guys like a thorough review. It's not just like a first impression. I know when I looked here on YouTube, there was only first impressions, not really like a thorough review or like, is it worth it type thing, but it's like just the first impression. So I feel like I just wanted to give you guys my honest opinion, a thorough opinion for me, experiencing almost every single color inside of this palette. This whole entire week I've been playing around with them, so I definitely have a good idea of how I feel about them. So if you guys are interested in learning more about these two brand new Milani palettes, then let's just go ahead and jump on in. Before I give my review, I just wanted to talk about the packaging and the colors in there and everything like that. So the first one is the Milani Most Loved Mattes that I'm going to be telling you guys about. And it's obviously a gold packaging right here, and then the back, which also has the color names, which I love. And then right here is a big mirror. It's beautiful. I love the packaging of this. It looks very, very high end. I think it reminds me a lot of the Stila palettes that they have where they're like all matte. And then they also remind me of Tartelette and Bloom palette. That's what they remind me of. I've never tried those ones, so I can't really compare, but I will say that the mattes inside of this all matte palette remind me a lot of the Tarte Clay Play palette that I have, like the mattes inside of there. They're very, very buttery, very creamy, very blendable, very pigmented, and that's exactly what these remind me of, but we're not talking about that yet. So I'm just going to cover up the mirror and you guys can see these are the shades inside of the matte palette. So you have really good neutral shades, really good cool tone shades like mauvey ones, and then these are obviously the warm tone shades. And then this one is the Bold Obsessions palette, exact same packaging, mirror, everything like that. And this is what it looks like. So you get a good amount of like shimmer shades and they're very, very beautiful. And then you get a black, a dark brown, some good transition shades. So I think both of these, you just get a good range of shades, whether it's like light ones, medium ones, dark ones. So you can really do a full complete look. I hate when palettes are missing like a dark brown or missing like a good transition shade or even just a good shimmer shade or a white shade. I think those are just essentials inside your palette, and both of these have them. In the Most Loved Mattes one, you have, you know, as far as like your light ones, you have this row right here, and then you have this row right here, then you have your good transition shades, and then just some darker ones to complete the look. And then inside of the Bold Obsessions one, you have like this white one right here for all over, which is matte, and then you have like a good shimmer one for your inner corner highlight. And then these all right here are shimmers as well. You do have a good combination of like mattes, which is like this one could be good as transition shade, this one's good as like an outer corner or a crease shade. This one's obviously like an outer corner, just your typical black shade. So you just get a really good range within these two palettes, whichever one you guys choose to pick up. Now I'm just going to be talking to you guys about my actual thorough review. So with the Most Loved Mattes palette, mattes are extremely hard to master. I feel like especially the drugstore lacks a lot on trying to have good quality shadows, especially matte ones. Shimmer ones can sometimes be way better than mattes, but the mattes especially are very hard for drugstore ones to master. And this one, I think Milani just blew it out of the water. The mattes inside of this palette, you guys will see, are so blendable and so creamy. I did not have a single problem with any of these shadows. I've tried 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've tried 8 shadows out of the 12 and I did not have any problems with any of them. They're very, very easy to blend out. They're super pigmented, and when you pack them onto each other, they don't like completely just like slip away, if that makes sense. Like I feel like if sometimes you put like this shade and then you put that shade, it kind of makes it patchy, or at least that's my problem with some of the palettes from the drugstore, but it's not patchy at all. I didn't have any problems with blending it out. Full of pigmentation. It's just such a beautiful palette all around, and there really wasn't that much fallout either, not even in the pan, definitely not in my face, so that was great. Much fallout either, not even in the pan, definitely not in my face, so that was great. As far as the Milani Bold Obsessions palette, same thing with the mattes. I absolutely loved the mattes inside of this palette. I didn't have any problems with them. The black is very pigmented, which I love because you know blacks are extremely hard to master in high-end and drugstore, so it's just a hard like color in general, but the black was definitely a really good one. I loved this one for just setting my concealer and just making it a really good base to start an eyeshadow look. This was a really good transition shade. This is just a really good like medium shade. This color right here is my absolute favorite one. It's what I'm wearing on my inner corner right now. Favorite color, whether you wet your brush or don't wet it, it's just a good color in general. Very pigmented, very buttery, not super flaky. It just works very well. I also tried the gold color and I loved it as well. I tried the silver one, I loved it. I haven't tried any of these ones right here, but these three shimmer shades were just beautiful, and then the black and the brown are very beautiful as well. So I tried a good amount of shades from this palette and a good amount of shades from the Most Loved Mattes palette, and again, they're all so pigmented, they're all great quality, and I'm just really impressed overall on how well both of these palettes work. You know, there's no inconsistencies between one. I don't think one is better than the other. I just feel like you need both of them, to be completely honest. If you're more of a matte person, obviously get the matte one, but if you like having shimmers and everything, I think this is just beautiful. I would love it if they took this like blue shimmer shade out and like put another one in there, just because I don't know, that blue shimmer shade isn't really calling my name, but everything else is just gorgeous. You get your good shade between, or your good ranges between like cool tone and warm toned. I know a lot of people usually tend to go with like, when they see this, they're like, oh my god, I want to do like a warm tone look, and that's great, but I created more of like a cool tone look for you guys so you could see you can create warm tone and cool tone ones. So that is my review on both of these two palettes, and now we're just going to go ahead and move on to the swatches of these two palettes. I'm going to swatch the Bold Obsessions palette first, and then I'll do the Most Loved Mattes palette after, and then after that you guys will see the tutorial on this look. So I'm going to be taking colors from both of these two palettes, the Most Loved Mattes and then the Bold Obsessions, just so you guys can see exactly what looks you can create. So the first palette that I'm going to be jumping into is the Most Loved Mattes to find a transition shade. And the first shade that I'm going to use as my transition shade is this one right here, which I believe is called Bust a Mauve. And the brush that I'll be using is a Sigma E40 tapered blending brush. Still staying in the same palette, I'm going to be taking this shade right here, which is called Toast of the Town. And I'm still taking that on the same brush. I'm now jumping into this color right here, which is called No Plum Intended. I love the names of these shadows, they're so cute. And the brush that I'm using is just this small fluffy brush. It's from Morphe and it's from their like, I think All Eyes collection. It doesn't have a specific number on the brush, but it's from a brush set. What I love about these shadows is that no matter how many shadows I pack on top of each other or try and blend in with each other, they blend perfectly on top of each other. It's not like as soon as you put one, the other one disappears. They just blend it seamlessly into each other. You don't see any patchiness as soon as you start blending in a darker color or a lighter color. It's not like one fades and the other one just becomes more patchy. It's literally all so consistent. It's all blending out seamlessly, which I love. I'm just taking that big fluffy brush and kind of blending out the edges. The next shade I'm taking is Don't Raise in Your Voice down here, and I'm using that on my outer corner to deepen it up, using that same fluffy brush from Morphe. I'm not sure if you guys can even see down here, but that is the only fallout that I'm getting. There's really no fallout to this palette. I'm not having any major issues with that, which is not a big deal to me personally, but I know to a lot of people that is a big deal. So now I'm going to switch over to the Bold Obsessions palette, and I'm going to take this shade, which is called a Little Black Dress. Now taking the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, I'm going to cut out my inner corner. I'm taking a little bit of Don't Raise in Your Voice and just kind of blending out those outer edges where the concealer and the darkness meet. Now I'm going to set that inner corner that we just carved out, so I'm using this shade, which is called I cannot speak. Can't Pink Straight. I'm literally just packing that shade onto the concealer. So you could totally leave the look the way that it is right now, just a full matte look. But of course, I'm going to add shimmer just so I can show you guys how pigmented these shimmer shades are. I absolutely am obsessed with them. This one shade is like my perfect inner corner shade, but it's perfect lid shade. It's just amazing. So right in the middle where the dark and the light meet, I'm going to take this shade right here. It's kind of like a silvery shimmer color, and this is color Slate All Day. Now on the inner corner and the rest of the lid, I'm going to take my favorite shade from this palette, which is this one, and it's called Sands of All Time. Still using the Bold Obsessions palette, I'm taking this color right here for my lower lashes, and this is called Sweet as Honey. Now I'm taking this deeper brown shade, which is called Burnett's Have Fun, and I'm also putting that on my lower lashes. So I just went ahead and finished up the eye look by putting on lashes and some eyeliner, and I used my NYX Matte Liquid Liner, and then the lashes that I used were the Allure Luxe Gilded Lashes, and the box just looks like this. Obviously, I had them on my eyes, so they're not in here, but I wanted to let you guys know which ones I used. And so this is the completed look that I created using both the new Milani palettes, and I hope you guys enjoyed how that turned out. If there's any other questions that you guys have regarding these two palettes, please leave them in the comment section. I will definitely reply back to you guys as soon as I can, just so you guys can get, you know, a full, clear understanding. I do hope that the review, swatches, and tutorial in this video helped you guys learn a little bit more about these two palettes. I know there's not really much here on YouTube about it, at least not whenever I went to go check. There was really only like first impressions about it, and I wanted to give you guys thorough reviews, thorough tutorial, thorough everything. So I really hope that this helped. If there's anything else you guys want to see, you know to leave that down below. I'd love to hear all of your guys' suggestions. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!